And Dickey, I think it might be time for Sidebar. I think you need to tell us what's missing.
Oh yes, no. Thank you, Sydney. Yeah, I would like to bring our attention to back to AI. There was a recent announcement um, in regards to AI from Mattel, one of the world's largest toy companies, that are partnering with OpenAI to transform toys with generative AI. That is, they're going to turn the static playthings into responsive companions that talk, tell stories, and adapt to each child that they are interacting with. And Mattel's chief franchise officer calls this an incredible opportunity to reimagine the future of play. And maybe it is the future of play, but I have to wonder, what kind of future are we imagining and what might we be leaving behind? Right now, we're living in this wild west of AI. There are virtually no rules, no meaningful oversight, and this territory being claimed isn't land, it's childhood. It's that inner world of imagination and connection. And it's the space where we first learn what it means to relate, to feel, to be in the presence of another. And so, what's at risk isn't just how children play, it's how they come to know what it means to be human. And for generations, toys have been these blank slates that children animate with stories and their voices and their own inner life. An AI toy flips that script. The AI toy doesn't wait for a child to imagine. They respond, they perform, they simulate a relationship, and in doing so, they retrain the architecture of connection, supposedly. And so a generation raised without the space to imagine isn't just missing out on creativity, it's losing the core muscle of empathy. And because play isn't just entertainment, it's a practice. It's how we learn to feel with and for others, to sit with our emotions, to sit with emotions that aren't even our own. And so when that gets replaced with algorithmic interaction, something essential in us goes quiet. And I don't have to speculate about this outcome. We're already seeing it happening. Gen Z, which is the first generation raised primarily on screens, has research has shown that they've struggled with face-to-face nuance, with emotional grounding, and just the resilience that comes from real-world connection. So now with this AI toy that we're expected to see probably within a year, we're extending this even earlier, potentially into the very first stages of our social development. And so, what happens when a child's earliest sense of connection comes not from a parent or sibling or friend, but from a machine, from something that reacts but can't reciprocate, something that mimics care but can't offer presence? How will that shape our understanding of what it means to be known? And I think this answer becomes clearer when we examine what these toys are actually doing, and potentially. And they don't just simulate companionship, they can really commodify it. You know, every giggle, every tantrum, every little bit of curiosity can become data that will be captured and analyzed and then just fed back into the machine. And so, now these mundane moments like bedtime stories or make believe games, or even boredom, are points of extraction. So what's at stake is the emotional blueprint. It's how a child learns to seek comfort, express need, and form attachment. And when these bonds are mediated by systems optimized not for relationship, but mainly for data, we risk normalizing a model where being seen and responded to feels like care, but it's actually quietly functioning as surveillance. It's not the overt kind, but something ambient, humming in the background, baked into every interaction. And furthermore, children could enter adulthood with these detailed emotional profiles optimized not for their well being, but for targeting them and persuading them. There's a deeper cost. And I think it might be the hollowing out of relational life itself. That, learning the expectation that connection is performative and transactional, and it's not lived. And so, if our earliest templates for care is built on this extraction and it's not lived, what kind of humans are we training ourselves to become? These patterns we pick up in childhood, they don't just stay there, they ripple out into how we treat our friends, our partners, our communities, the whole world at large. And, these questions that I'm curious about, they're not just developmental questions. They're really questions that are getting at the social fabric. Like, what kind of shared world are we going to be building together?
Mm.
But amid all of this dystopian projection, I do want to pause and remember something really fundamental about intelligence itself. Not just what it can do, but where it comes from. There is this popular belief in AI communities and circles that intelligence isn't defined by what it's made of, but what it does. So if a machine can mimic human behavior, like solve problems, generate language, make decisions, then it qualifies as intelligent. But I don't buy that, because real intelligence, felt intelligence, isn't just about output. It's about resonance. It's about attunement. It's the sense that something is happening between us that can't be predicted or measured, something alive. And that kind of intelligence really doesn't live in code. It's in our bodies. I recently encountered this theory from systems biology that suggests true AI might only be possible if built not on silicon, but on water, because water flows and remembers in ways that circuits cannot. So I don't know if it's scientifically true. I'm no scientist, but I do know this. Machines may learn to predict us, but they will never feel us, because we are not made of pattern recognition. We are made of rhythm and rupture and reciprocity, sensation and presence. It reminded me of this moment from an episode of the podcast Invisibilia. It's a kind of an old episode. I'll link it. But at the end of it, there's a woman who's talking on her phone with her partner. They're going through a breakup, and one of them is sobbing. Her tears are seeping into the phone, and her grief in liquid form is too much for the machine to handle, and it short circuits. The call drops out. The phone is broken. And this story really stays with me. It's not a fantasy, but as a reminder that we may be surrounded by systems trying to simulate us, but they can never be us, because real intelligence isn't coded. It's lived, and we are made of water, not code. And this is what gives me hope in all this, and it also makes me want to really fight to protect our intelligence, and why I want to bring these news headlines to our attention, and just what makes us most human, our capacity to feel, to attune, to be in relation, is if we can remember that and really stay in touch with that, we can outlast the AI overlords that potentially might take over us. So,
I have to say, Dickey, leave it up to you to make the potential for World War III to be the second scariest thing on the program.
Yeah, I know. Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe the one part of me is like, maybe AI will be a more pure, like, I guess it depends on who's coding it, but maybe it can represent our most purest selves, and help it. AI human enhancement can help us move towards pacifism. Then let's bomb everywhere possible.
Well, I want to thank Dickey, and I want to thank Sydney Sullivan. I want to thank all of you for tuning into the Disinfo Detox. We are the Media Literacy Wrecking Crew. We're here every week breaking down the headlines. Tell us what you think in the comments. If you want us to cover anything, we're here for you. See you next time. Keep detoxing.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Hey, Detoxers. Thanks for tuning in to the Disinfo Detox. If you're enjoying the content, head over to nolanhigdon.substack.com for full access to the podcast as well as other original essays. Want to support the Detox? Consider becoming a paid subscriber. You'll get early and exclusive access to interviews, podcasts, essays, and more. If a subscription's not in the cards for you right now, no worries. Just like, share, subscribe, comment, and follow. It helps grow the audience and spread the word. Until next time, stay sharp, stay skeptical, and keep detoxing the disinfo.